everyone, this is Stephanie Steinbeck. This is part two in this little series I've done for you about how to get your house ready for the market. And I hope you were able to catch the first part of this series about decluttering the house and doing your repairs and upgrades. This episode, we're going to talk about staging, cleaning, and photography, okay? So let's talk a little bit first about staging. I have a seller that I've been working recently, and the seller made the comment to me, I really don't see the point in staging. And that's fair. I can see that. Their point was that their perspective on going to buy a house is they're, without any kinds of special decor, they're able to assess whether the house meets their needs. And many buyers will be the same way, but not all. And there are some reasons why staging a house helps it to sell. NAR, the National Association of Realtors, actually, their statistics show that houses that are staged sell more quickly and for more money. And so I want to talk with you a little bit about basic staging, okay? First of all, let's talk about why staging helps those buyers who may have a hard time connecting with the house. I want to talk a little bit about the size of spaces. So a lot of times, if buyers are interested in a home, part of their showing is spent evaluating whether their current furnishings will fit into the space of the house. If the space is vacant, especially, it can be very difficult for some folks to visually size up how big a room is. And so, especially in a vacant house, you'll see buyers, they kind of are trying to take like a visual measurement of the rooms. If you put a couch in an empty living room, the buyer may not be able to do that visual measurement of the room itself, but because they also own a couch, they can sort of make a comparison in their eyes or in their mind about how their current couch compares to the size of your couch. So say your couch is a big overstuffed piece of furniture and they've got a small couch. A buyer will look at your big couch and say, well, my couch is smaller than that and that fits in here, so my furniture is going to fit in here too, okay? So that's one reason why it helps. It kind of gives them a sense of scale of the room. Another reason that it can help is, especially in vacant homes, buyers usually are not buying a house for the walls and the floors and the rooms themselves. They're buying it because they need to be able to conduct their lifestyle in those spaces. And so when a buyer looks at a room, like they may be thinking about their life and how their day usually looks and how they're going to make those rooms function for their family or for themselves. And so, for example, say that we have a buyer who has 3 little kids, and in the morning, those kids have to get breakfast and be on the bus, and it's a crazy time of day. And if the dining room is separate from the kitchen, they are trying to figure out where's that all going to happen. Maybe there's a small island in the kitchen that by just looking at it, you wouldn't think this is a place to eat breakfast. By putting a couple of stools at that island with some placemats and little bowls, that can be enough to suggest to a buyer, okay, so I can use this space in this way to meet my needs. So that's another reason why staging helps. Now, I want to say, I look at staging as being not just adding things, not just adding accessories or maybe small furnishings. I also look at staging by meaning it's about removing things too. So when I go in to work with somebody on staging their house, first of all, one of the services that I offer is I have a small inventory of updated accessories that I can provide as a loan to sellers, and I go in and I can help them place those materials when we're getting the house ready to show. And part of what I can help with, if you'd like it, is as we are staging and getting the house kind of accessorized well, we can also look at what things could be moved or removed to help the buyer get that same sense of how they will conduct their life in that home, or how they can focus on the property itself during the showing. So I consider all of that sort of part of the staging process. Now, I don't necessarily think, in most cases, I don't see the need to bring in a whole house full of furniture. What I generally offer is I have kind of a fresh looking set of matched or coordinated accessories that are in colors that buyers are used to seeing if they've been like looking at HGTV or they've been looking at decorating magazines and that kind of thing. They're just current. And, from time to time, those things will be changed out. But I think it does help a buyer to relate to the space, to see things that they sort of aspire to have in their decor. Now, the other thing I want to mention about staging is in an occupied home, staging is part of helping the buyer see themselves and not you there. And so there are times, you've probably heard the old adage about when you go to sell your house, take down all of the family photos. I don't necessarily agree with that. I say, it's okay to leave some family photos because it's nice to see that, there were other people there enjoying the house. If you have tons of family photos, and it's going to feel very, very personal when that buyer comes in, or your style is very, very personal. Those are the types of things that when we stage the house, we look at maybe packing some of those things up until the next house, or we just tone down that very strong style. So I hope that helps with some questions about staging. The other thing I want to talk about briefly is housekeeping, cleaning, okay? So don't take it personally, but I almost always recommend, no matter how neat and clean you are as a homeowner, I almost always recommend that someone comes in and cleans the house for you right before it goes on the market. And the order of things is, I usually like to get it staged, have it cleaned, and then do photography all within the course of about 2 or 3 days, so that when the photographer comes in, it is sparkling clean and the house just looks the best it's ever going to look for those showings. The reason I say that is when you live in a house, in terms of the house cleaning, when you live in a house, you live in it differently than if someone else were to walk through and evaluate it. And, you may not think, oh, it's been a while since I've cleaned the stove or inside of the stove. You may not think it's been a while since I really cleaned out, the pantry and mopped the floor in there or something. But when your buyer is coming in, they're coming in and they're opening the stove because they're buying it if it comes with the house. They're opening the pantry and they're looking around in the corners. A house that's very clean gives sort of a nonverbal signal to a buyer that the house has also been very well maintained. And when buyers walk through houses where there may be some dust or dirt that you don't even see anymore because you live with it every day and it's your house. But when buyers come into that environment, if they see what they perceive to be kind of a dirty house, it makes them sometimes wonder, so have they kept up on the upkeep? Are they, taking care of leaks when they occur? Are they making sure that the furnace filter is changed on a regular basis? And it makes them have other types of questions or doubts about the house, okay? The very last thing I want to mention is photography. One of the things that I provide for my sellers is I cover the cost of your professional photography and video. I have someone that I routinely use for that service, and he usually comes in just before the house goes on the market to take those pictures and sometimes video as well. And I like to have, if possible, I'd like to have the house cleaned and staged the day before he gets there so that it is sparkly clean in your pictures. Because nowadays, the first showing of your home really doesn't take place when an agent brings a buyer through the house. The first showing happens on your computer or on your phone. And buyers use that video and photography to decide, is this a house I want to take the time to go see in person? So that last week before it goes live, where we focus on the cleaning, the staging, and the photography, that's that kind of wow factor, that strong first impression that we're trying to create with the online home shopper. So I hope this was helpful and maybe answered some questions for you. And as always, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'm happy to help. If you would like to talk about what it takes to get your house ready for the market, by all means, give me a call. And stay tuned, because the next episode in this series is going to be about when the house actually goes on the market and what to expect. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.